This podcast is brought to you by sleepyj.com/beats. If you need a beat for your next album, mixtape, or demo project, check out sleepyj.com/beats. That's SLEEPEJ.com/beats. Warning, this podcast may offend some people unintentionally. So if you get offended easily, you are advised to turn off now. And if you're still here listening, thanks and enjoy the show. What's up with the world? It's your boy Sleepy J. You tuned in to Sleep Talkin. I just want to say I appreciate each and every single one of you guys for checking me out. We are moving and grooving. We got a lot of people tuning in every week, so continue to spread that word about who we are and about all the music talk we be doing. Today I got a good friend to the room, Block Marley here. He's a DJ in the St. Louis area. If you guys don't know, say what's up, Block.
What's up? What's the word?
So, Block Marley, man, what you tell the people who you are and what you've been up to.
Yeah, man. DJ Block314 on all social media, man. I follow back. I'm a radio personality, a host, of course, a DJ with the Missouri Fleet DJs, stand up. We worldwide. I'm just out here hustling, surviving.
That's what's up. When you say you a radio DJ, where'd you do radio in?
My City, My Music is when we kicked it off, and that situation obviously led me to another opportunity on Power 314. So shout out Mo and Jay for Power 314, man. Make sure y'all tuning in.
That's what's up. Well, Black, today we're gonna talk a little bit about music. That's what we do on Sleep Talking. We talk randomness, some stuff in the news media, basically pop culture type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But we talk music, all the new albums that be coming out. We talk about pretty much just whatever we want. Sleep Talking gets a little bit gibberish sometimes, so we just do what we want.
Okay.
Any new music you're listening to? Anybody whether we heard about it, haven't heard about it, anything you listening to that's new?
Nipsey Hussle actually just dropped his new last album, Finish Lap, I think it is.
Was it
Victory Lap? Excuse me.
Yeah,
I call it Finish Lap. Victory Lap.
You know what? I checked that one out. I'm not a fan of Nipsey. Like his voice, it's his voice. Like he has too much of a. Maybe it's just too deep for me. When I listen to it, it's just like I'm not really into that. It sounds too dead to me. There's no like fluctuation. It's like he just kind of hits the same level the whole time.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, but honestly, when I hear, of course, shout out that West Coast, man. He got that West Coast shine and vibe to his music, and that kind of take me back.
Yeah, I'm more of that. I did say it was more of a he was super gangster on it, and I was like, I'm still a fan of the old school West Coast of the old funk, but I did check it out. It was a decent little album.
Yeah, he got some bangers on there. The next, of course, that Drake Scorpion just dropped. You know what I mean? He got a couple of tracks on there, especially for the ladies. A lot of that R&B smooth shit.
I checked out the Drake album. I didn't listen to it. I didn't get a chance to digest it. I just kind of browsed through it.
Yeah.
First time around, I really wasn't feeling it, but Drake is definitely one of those people. When I listen to it, I was like, man, the first time, I don't like this. I remember his first album when it first came out. I was like, it sounds so weird.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. It wasn't until my second or third time around where I was like, I kind of like this one. I kind of like that one. And then, by the end of the summer, it was my shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this one's going to be that one either. But
that was the Thank Me Later, right? Wasn't that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it was because he was coming out with that dreamy sound, and that dreamy sound was just new, and I was like, I don't like the way the beats sound. It just sounded weird. It sounded like, to me, it reminded me of if you've never listened to what do you call that? The Screwed and Chop music.
Oh yeah.
And you know how you got to be high or something on it to kind of really vibe to it. And I was like, it just has this weird sound to it that I couldn't really process. But I really eventually got to liking it. This new one, I sat down with it a little bit yesterday, trying to digest it in anticipation to record this. For those that you don't know, I normally record these Tuesday and release them Tuesday, but this one's being recorded Saturday, so I might be a little bit behind as far as for actually digesting music like I normally do. But yeah, so I tried to sit down with anticipation of talking about it today.
For sure.
And I got halfway through it before, I don't know, something happened with the music where it quit playing. So I was like, well, I guess I'm done for tonight.
Boom. Yeah.
But I liked it. I think he was in his feelings, especially you could tell the Pusha T situation had him in his feelings because, like, well, I won't say that it was all on him, but a lot of it had something to do with him because he kind of started out to popping his shit, and then like at some point he was talking about his kid and the situation.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Baby moms.
Yeah, I think he had to go back and revisit it. He might have been planning on talking about it this album. But I think that Pusha T situation is like, well, now he says I was ashamed of it. So now I got to say I wasn't ashamed. I was just trying to protect him from y'all motherfuckers. Yeah. And I said, so he had to play that cleanup a little bit. And that might have been what it was. And I tried to listen to that one that Nicki Minaj was on. But I didn't really like the recording of it. Like, because Nicki's part wasn't like them in the studio. It was like, oh, Nicki did a show. And they took the audio from the show. And I was like, this sounds like a mixtape track. It don't sound like a real album type feel.
Yeah. So
I really wasn't feeling it, but I was hoping that it was, Nicki was going to be popping that shit or they was going to do like something that they normally do. And I was like, I really wasn't feeling that one. Yeah. But giving it a second go, actually letting the lyrics sit on me, he's popping some shit. Some of the beats still, I'm in that same situation as that first album where I was like, I don't know if this is where music is at. Maybe he's ahead of the curve or maybe he's behind.
Right.
And it has that feel. Like either he's ahead and it's going to be what everyone's going to be on all summer long or all next year, or he's just a tad bit behind, which he's usually ahead of the curve. Like when he started doing the Caribbean music, he was ahead of the curve. Everyone wanted to do the Caribbean music.
Yeah.
And I think that when you're that big of a star, you might not necessarily be ahead of the curve. You just are the curve. Like so when you come out, and all eyes are on you, and as long as people are still fucking with you, you can set whatever trend is going to be what's popping.
Boom.
But if you're not, you just wind up being just behind the curve because, I mean, you still rapping. The talent is still there. You're just not doing what everyone's doing.
Right.
And I actually think Nicki might be the new Curb because she's kind of ramping up for a big come out. At least that's my expectations. I don't know. I'm hoping she doesn't disappoint, but I know she's going to be rapping because she's tired of everyone, saying Cardi B over her.
But Cardi's doing work. She's selling records, and her album was actually on point. I rock with Cardi.
Cardi was one of those albums that I listened to it. I sat down, and Cardi, I get it. She is a what they call an Afro-Latina.
Yeah.
But I wasn't feeling that I like it like that. I wasn't feeling it because I personally don't like me personally because like I feel like hip hop is its own genre. I don't need to blend my Latin culture into it because hip hop is hip hop.
Okay.
And I never really been a fan of a whole lot of mixing and blending like that because like I was like, if I want to do Spanish music, I'll do Spanish music. If I want to do, and I was like, and that to me was like I don't want to say it was a classic and like you don't touch a classic type song, but it is a classic pop song. Like everyone, if you thought of a Spanish song, that's probably like one of the first ones you think about. And I didn't really feel like I don't know. I feel like it's a culture vulture thing because most people didn't know she was a Afro-Latina. Like she doesn't present herself as a Latina. She's like, I'm a black bitch and da 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 da. Wow. So she identifies more as a black person than a Latin person. So I feel like that's more of an issue. I was like, you're just dipping in just to get the Latin feel for the money, not because like, oh, that's part of my culture. Like I don't rap in Spanish or do things in Latin at all because one, I don't speak it very fluently unless we're in the kitchen.
My man.
But I don't get into the whole capitalizing on being Mexican in that sense that I'm trying to take away from my culture and make money off of it. I was like, I do try and say like I'm trying to represent for the Mexican Americans like me that were raised in America that my parents are from Mexico and I do know of the Mexican culture, but I'm not necessarily, running with that flag like, oh, my people, whatever. Because I look at myself, I'm an American. I don't think of myself as like a Mexican American because I know in Mexico they're not gonna look at me like, oh yeah, he's one of ours. They looking at me like, man, you're an American. You don't even speak Spanish, and you know. I was like, so I look at it like that. I was like, but I understand it too when people like, I understand the plight of it. I understand being from like, not, when your people aren't accepting you.
Yeah. But I mean, if I could rebut to that, I mean, I looked at it as, because you got to think like Pitbull, Daddy Yankee, these guys, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
but they grew up in that culture.
They did?
Like, Pitbull is from Florida, and there's a big Cuban community. There's a big Haitian community. So speaking Spanish was fluent. For me, I'm from St. Louis. Well, there wasn't a lot of Mexicans. There wasn't a lot of Mexicans in St. Louis other than my family when we were kids.
Right.
I was like, now, when we're talking damn near, I'm not going to age myself.
Okay.
But we're going to say now, 5 years after high school, there was a big Latin community that popped up. They were popping up towards the end when we were graduating.
Right.
And that was after or around about the Katrina years, once everyone was moving up from, Houston and the New Orleans and stuff like that, they relocated here,
right?
Which is, I think, a lot of our crime spiked here, which
because
that's a different story.
Yeah,
but not because of the Latins, because of all the people relocating here. But in that spike, that's when we got a lot more Latins. Now we have Ecuadorians and we have Mexicans and we have Puerto Ricans and all these different Latin people now,
right?
And there's pockets. There's always been pockets in St. Louis where you could be like, you can go down there on Cherokee, and that's like Little Mexico. You can go down there, and all the little Mexican restaurants, they only speak Spanish down there.
Right.
But that's it. Like, we didn't have that before growing up. You know what I'm saying?
And
that's
it's got to grow and change. And like I said, I thought it was a nice touch with her bringing in what's old boy named Bad Bunny and all of them to spit that shit.
Yeah. I mean, it grew on me.
Yeah.
I like it. Just my initial reaction was like, because she didn't start popping that. Something happened. You know what? It was the girl from Miami.
Girl from Miami.
Amara La Negra.
Yeah.
When she started talking about the colorism of being a dark-skinned Afro-Latina, and everyone was hitting her for her afro and herself, I don't take her saying like being, mixing her Latin music with her hip-hop or her R&B that she does because she grew up in that culture. She was like, I grew up on those islands. I was moving around and doing that thing in Miami and all in places where they speak Spanish. And I was like, in New York, you do speak Spanish if you're from like Spanish Harlem or something like that. Mm-hmm. But you never heard Cardi say that until she got into it with her. And I felt like, so it was like a retaliation. Like, I have to prove that it wasn't a natural feel to me. Yeah. And that was my thing. Like, I don't really feel that. But she does have this one song with Jennifer Lopez. It's my shit.
Straight up. Not J-Lo.
Jennifer Lopez and Cardi got this song called Dinero. That's my shit.
That's what's up.
But like, J-Lo is one of those people, like, it surprises me she doesn't speak more Spanish because J-Lo is from the Bronx and she does, like, you've heard her speak Spanish in movies and shit, but she doesn't necessarily show that either. And I kind of feel like I relate to her, like, she speaks it, but she's not necessarily trying to capitalize
just specifically off of that. Yeah. Yeah,
she's
totally
like, I'm part of this American culture, and this is what we do.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah. Anyhow, Cardi B's album, it was dope. Yeah. It's dope to see anybody new come in and win in a big way. Like, she didn't have a ramp up that you've seen where, like, they've been out for a minute, and now they're finally getting the respect. It's like,
nah, she was fresh out the box.
Right.
Like I say,
like, she's not like J. Cole. Like, J. Cole came out, and he did an album, and some people fucked with it. He had a single that was kind of cool, but he really wasn't popping. Like, nobody gave J. Cole that same respect that they give him now.
Right.
Like, J. Cole's like the bar of, like, if you're rapping bars, you got Kendrick or J. Cole that you just don't want to say, like, who's better or whatever. You're like, no, it's Kendrick and J. Cole, and then everybody else falls in line.
Right.
And I think that's kind of an interesting thing to think, like, does nobody else remember, like, he did Born Sinner before he did Forest Hills. And Forest Hills was the transition, and now he's the curve. But before, like, he did Born Sinner and, what was it, Cold World? Those were two albums that he did, like, you might have liked a song or two, but nobody was really saying J. Cole was the man.
Right.
Until his third project. Same thing with Kendrick. I mean, well, I don't know. If you got on him early, you did like the Mad City, Mad Kid, the Mad City, or
Mad City, yep.
I think some people like Bert told me about that, and he was like, "Yeah, man, you know, Kendrick's that new dude, but he might have just been ahead of the curve. Like, I don't think most people, not the masses, were fucking with him until he did. Shit, what was that one that he did before? Damn,
swimming pools. Are you talking about the actual album?
Yeah. I can't remember the album, but you know, Kendrick's one of them cats that, you know, I've come to, like, as much as I love hip hop, I listen to a lot of different music from a long time ago to now and whatever, but when I've come to learn about hip hop, it's like some of it's not for me.
Yeah,
I just don't like it. Like, you know, as much as I try, Kendrick's one of those people, like, he's got a few songs that when they go, they go.
Yeah.
But in general, like, I like Kendrick as a feature. Like, Kendrick to me is like Busta Rhymes. Like, you really want a song to go, throw him on a feature and it's gonna go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when it comes to, or even I love Jadakiss. Jadakiss, if you want to hear him go, either you throw him in a battle and he's gonna eat somebody up.
Yep.
Or you throw him on a feature and he's gonna have one of them verses like, oh man, that's sick.
Yep.
But I was like, I really don't fuck with him outside of that. Like, I listened to that Damn album and I was like, he switches his flow up too much.
Yeah. For
me to really fuck with it.
And that's where I think he rubs a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, like that, is because he got a different type of flow. You know what I mean?
But I do like it in the artistry though. Like, when you think about it, like unique. Most people nowadays, like a Post Malone just does a bunch of songs, throws it out. That's an album. Or, you know,
he don't even care about the art for real though.
Well, no, like he does. Like, his is a different style, but like he doesn't.
He on some rock and roll rap shit. He think you're a rock star for real.
Well, I think for him, his artistry is, I want to dabble in everything. Yeah. Whereas to Kendrick's is like the old school. Like, I came up with a theme and I built around this whole theme of like, this is what we doing. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't do that. Like, Kendrick does this. He still is of that old school, like a cohesive album from beginning to end. It's all about one project. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't do that. Everyone's like, man, I was just in the studio, recorded 100 songs, took the best 10 songs, threw it out there. That's what you got. Right. And I think that's what today's hip hop is versus like him. Like, cause they're more worried about a single. Yeah. Kendrick and Cole are like, no, I want a good album. Exactly. The songs you are attracted to, you're attracted to. I don't make this is going to be my first single, this is my third single, fourth single, whatever. They just came out with like, this was my album, this is my story I wanted to tell you guys. Yeah. Y'all are play what y'all want. And he allows you allow the people to do that, which is different. It's a different situation, but it's a different art form of how you build that. So I think that's interesting. Like, I'm sure, well, we know Drake did that with his album. Yeah. He came out with, God's Plan, and mm-hmm. you can, when you hear them, like, they have a different feel than the rest of the album. Right. So he built those to be singles.
Smart marketing.
I mean, it is smart. Especially if you know that's your lane. Like, I can carve out these singles. Like, you don't go to a Drake or a Cole, or you don't go from a Drake plan to a Cole plan and just like, I'm just let the people figure it out and do what it is. Yeah. You gotta let that sit. So, but anyways, yeah. So you don't go from that plan of having all those singles to just saying like, oh, we're gonna let the people decide what's hot and what's not. So yeah. That's just I don't know. It's an interesting concept to think about when you're talking about music. But we got all that from your playlist. So who else you got in your playlist besides that new Drake?
And Cardi B. Shit. Honestly,
you just got a little bit of everything.
I got everything.
So,
man.
So when you're DJing, would you call yourself a hip hop DJ or are you a top 40 DJ? Is there a difference to you?
It is. Top 40, of course, is playing top 40 from not just hip hop. It's pop, EDM.
To me, it's like every song that's popular that anyone that knows
that you hear on the radio anytime. Yeah. That's what that is, which I could do. I at one point in time I consider myself like a hip hop slash twerk slash you know what I'm saying, thug DJ. But bruh, honestly, I'm just like a club DJ, to be for real. You know what I mean? And radio, that's mostly what I do.
Right.
So you know what I mean.
It's the safest lane if you want to make money, because like you could do like, man, I play that thug music, but like only a handful of people want to be there for that.
Yeah.
And then the hard part to that is it gets dangerous.
It does.
For whatever
fast.
reason, when you play, you know, a song that gets people amped up, someone step on someone's shoe when it go down. At least in St. Louis. I don't know about anywhere else.
Yeah.
But from my experiences, all the negative stereotypes that you hear about a hip hop show is usually someone was juiced up. And they was, you know,
drunk, high on something.
They hear that one song that just get them in that groove and
they ready to let off.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. So.
So yeah, nah, man. Like I said, I try to be pretty versatile. You know what I mean? Play some rock and roll. You know what I mean? Some old school throwbacks.
Have you done like personal parties? Like someone like, oh, I got a wedding. Would you do my wedding?
Yeah, I've done weddings. Bar mitzvah.
You done a bar mitzvah?
Yeah, man. It's like,
how
bro,
was that?
It was cool. It was cool. I mean,
the
we did
question
it out here
is,
in the loop.
did the Jewish girls drop it like it was hot at some point because it was in a long ass skirt that was down to the ankles? Like, this is weird.
Yeah. Well, nah, not necessarily, because it was for younger kids. So you know what I mean. It wasn't. We kept it pretty PG. You know what I mean. I played, you know, some Bruno Mars. You know what I mean.
Do you have a someone that helps you out? Like, because I know like. Your personal, you can't go into a show to do your music like, oh man, this is shit I like. I know this is what's gonna hot, or do you kind of go like let them pick out, like give me an idea what you want, and then
like if somebody's booking me for an event, I sit down with them beforehand, definitely to see kind of like what they got in their mind about how they want the event to go. You know, like I'm saying, because it's all about that mood and that atmosphere. So I try to make sure that, you know what I mean, they song selection is gonna be something that's gonna line up to, you know what I mean, the crowd of people that they gonna have, because you gotta think. Like I said, I did a birthday party, in U City, and I had met with this nice young lady, very nice. I mean, the show went well, don't get me wrong, but the demographic was majority older people. You know what I'm saying? And half the list of music, I got Nelly and you know what I'm saying, Ashani and the old school.
Did you lose the crowd?
I didn't. I mean, I did actually for a moment, because I went in and I was actually told like, hey, you should play Nelly. You know what I mean?
Right.
I played some Nelly. I think some Chun-Li. You know, that new Nicki Minaj.
Right.
They got mad at me. Oh, sir, we're in our 60s. I don't want to hear Nicki Minaj. And, no problem, man. Switched it up real quick for him. Everybody happy. You know what I'm saying?
I tell you what, someone we went to school with got married, and they had taken my DJ Breeze, asked him to do the wedding.
Yeah.
And they was like, we want to hear nothing but Gucci Mane. Like,
wow.
And he was like, all right, cool. You know, he's a good DJ. He can pretty much do whatever you want. If you want nothing but gully music, he can do it. If you want nothing but the top 40, he can do it. That's why I fuck with him, because he can do all crowds. But he was doing it. He told me, he was like, man, she told me like I want nothing but Gucci Mane and Jeezy and all these like real dark
hood
trap.
Yeah.
And it was a white girl, and like her and her friends were loving it.
But everybody else.
Right. He was like, it's all old white people in there.
They in there mad, got their nose up.
Yeah. And he was like, but it said it's funny because like not even her husband was out there dancing. It was just like her and like 2 or 3 of her girls were like, oh, this is my shit. And
wow.
And he was like, I asked, like, please let me go ahead and play something different. And she was like, no. If it's not something I asked for, don't play nothing else. And that was it. And he was like, I'm not gonna lie, man. It was a bad show. Like, I felt bad because, like, I lost the crowd. At one point, I had it going, and she was like, I want to hear nothing but this stuff. And she was just out there, like, giving it up like it was nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's all bad. Like,
you know, and that's the thing, like, what a lot of people don't realize, even as being in the club, you know what I mean? Like, for us to play something for you, for a lot of DJs, they won't. You know what I mean? I do, because I'm a nice guy. I want to make sure everybody have a good time. But honestly, as DJ, we're only obligated to do what the person is signing the check. That's handing over the bread. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you can have requests out the door, but...
Yeah, he told me, like, and I mean, it makes sense. He was like, you can't go from, like, a song, like, if you don't know about music, like, you measure it through, like, your BPMs when you're playing... an event, so like you can't go from a song that's got like 60 BPM, thinking like
real slow.
Yeah. Think about an R&B song. You can't go from an R&B song up to something that's like 140 where it's like fist pumping. You hear doom, 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 doom. Like you can't do that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, it's real slow right now. Let me hear that new whatever. And you just say, man, that's like 160 BPM. I gotta work my way up. And sometimes when you're working your way up, the crowd might not necessarily be swaying that way.
Right.
And if you're a good DJ, you're playing to the crowd. It's like if you're a rapper or singer, like you're not gonna just do all the songs you like to do.
You and your friends, you came to perform for everybody.
Yeah, you trying to keep the crowd into it, so that way they want you to come back and keep paying that money.
Exactly.
So I understand it, and so when you guys are out there, if you guys see a DJ, if you really want to, slip them some money. They might play that song.
They'll play that song for you then. George Washington, make them holler.
But yeah, so that's cool. Like it's interesting because like I've known you for a long time. We go back all through school.
Oh yeah, Squiddy Squad.
And so to hear you go into the DJing world, I was kind of thrown off because like you started out rapping a little bit, and then you was like, yeah, I'm not rapping no more. And I always fuck with you by saying when you're in season because you go through a few times where like, I'm rapping, and all of a sudden like, oh, I want to do a mixtape. Where the fuck did you? You haven't been rapping in like 4 years.
Got them bars done when they in season.
So why did you decide to go like? I know you were promoting for shows. Like, what made you get into the promotion of shows?
Dollar bill,
you
capo.
Just decided you wanted to get into
because this the thing, like
business.
And honestly, hey, salute and shout out to Frost Money. Because after learning the behind the scenes of doing your own show or an event,
right,
regardless of, how much money you make or all of that, whoever you booking, the one person that has to get paid for you to have a show is the DJ.
Yeah.
Flat out. I mean, of course, the venue and all of that. I mean, that's a given. But I mean, you need one instrument to really have a show, right?
Right.
You need a DJ.
That's true.
So, and honestly, I had a love for the craft. Like you said, I have been dabbling with it.
Right.
And like I say, I mean, from that perspective, like I was like, well, I try something new. Like I said, I love music.
Right.
I think it's something that I can do, and luckily, I've been blessed. It's
funny. My family always tries to put me into like, oh yeah, you could DJ, and I could if I had the equipment, but But I'm not a DJ, guys. Like they don't understand. Like, no, I rap and I throw events. I have DJs on deck that I know, but I don't DJ.
Right.
Not to say I couldn't.
Right.
But it's just not what I do. And I was like, and I'd be definitely a click DJ. Like, just click that song. I'm not mixing shit. I'm not
he blending in nothing. Oh, damn.
I was
that
like, I
could if
I spent the time on it. I was like, but I'm, right now at this point in my career, like I'm spending my time on really building my beat craft and learning that. Yeah. And DJing wasn't something I want to do. I was like, shit, even rapping really, when I first started, wasn't my end game. Like I came in, I just wanted to own the label. I was like, I came in like, man, I just want to own the label. I wanted to be Suge Knight. I didn't know what Suge Knight did. I just knew that Suge Knight was making money.
Right, while I was in the studio.
Right. I was like, I came in, that's what I was trying to do. I didn't know what Suge Knight did, but I know Suge Knight and Master P are the ones of the shit that be calling shots and making money.
Yeah. And
I started doing the rap thing because I was like, well, who's going to sign to an independent label running out their mom's basement at the time, being in high school, whatever? Like, I just didn't think anybody would do it. Luckily, I had the other people in school that were like, oh, shit, I'm down. Let's do this.
Yeah, making shit happen.
And I was like, and even then, like, I wasn't good at it in the beginning. Not that I'm great now. I said, but I know how to stay on beat now, and I know what I'm doing now. I understand music now. I said, but that's after years of working at that craft that a lot of people today, I wonder about society. All these, like, I mean, granted, we're millennials, but we're older millennials, and we know what it's like to work. But I don't think a lot of these younger ones, like the new ones, I think now they're Generation Z or whatever the next generation is, they don't know what that work ethic is like to have to, like, if you want something, you got to work at it. You're not going to get it just because you want it.
Yeah.
And so I'm thankful that I never gave up. And I mean, I'm not the biggest artist or whatever, but I do know it's growing. I see I see it grow. I see when I do new projects, I see the sales, spikes and drops and whatever. I pay attention to it. But a lot of people quit. Like when I started my podcast, I remember I started out with one listener. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that listener was me.
Bow.
And I went from 1 to 2 to 5. And last I checked, I was, it's moving up. It went from 1 to 5 to 10 to 20 to 30, so it's growing.
For sure.
Each week, maybe 2 or 3 more listeners, or maybe it'll spike up a little bit if I have someone on here. When I put Frost on here, I got an extra 10 listeners. That's like, but It was, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, to me, it's cool. It's cool to watch it. I was like, to me, it's like, I know like the process is the fun part. Once you get to the end result, now you're going to look for a new peak to climb.
Exactly.
I was like, but if you can also learn to appreciate that climb, I mean, it's cool to watch, when you can start seeing, I know what it's like to do a song and no one like it. Then when you get one person like, oh, I like that when you did that. Well, now I want to do it again.
Exactly.
And see if I can't get 2 people and 3 people and 4. You just growing that number.
Yeah.
People don't know what that's like. And to me, that's the fun part. That's getting people to turn that curve for you and get with it. So, funny thing is, I was telling, I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but I was talking to Frost, and I was like, I remember one of my first times rapping, you and Rico walked up to me, and I don't know, you guys were saying you guys were putting a group together. And it was like, audition, let me hear you say something. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck I rap. But both of y'all just looked at each other, looked at me. It was like, cool. And then like walked away. And I was like, I didn't know what the fuck that was about.
That's comedy.
It was weird, but I remember it was like freshman year. I was like, this shit's crazy. But I was like, I never freestyled. And I just said some shit, whatever. And I was like, cool, we'll talk to you later. And I never heard shit about that group again.
Hey, wow. I don't even think we did no group, bro. To be honest with you.
I think that was like the early stages of what you guys tried to form of Hit Squad, but
DNL, shout out.
And I think that was like when you was trying to figure it out, but didn't know what you were trying to do.
Exactly.
But it was just funny. Like you just think back of that career, what you've been doing, and how it's been going.
For sure. Always involved, man.
Let's see. I got a question for you. Something I don't know. Like, do DJs beef? Like, do you have like problems with like hitmaker DJs? When I see them niggas, it's on site.
It's a beef, matter of fact, going on right now between Funk Flex and Kid Capri, and I got 5 on Kid Capri.
So, I seen that, but I don't know what that's about. Like, is that just like on who's been in it the longest, or because like when I was talking about beefs, like I know in St. Louis we have like all-star DJs, the Fleet DJs. And that's what I was talking about. Like, do those locally companies beef with each other, or do they just like,
Not
we're just in the same area? We just kind of, y'all are part of who y'all are and whatever.
Yeah. It's no beef, it's no rapper stuff. Like, it's all love. Shout out Hitmaker, shout out All Star, shout out Core DJs.
Yeah, see, I know about all those. Good. Now, this other beef you're talking about, I think that's just like a radio personality versus like a music industry DJ, right? Because I don't know.
Yeah, because Kid Capri, like, he kicked it off way back in the 80s with the mixtapes in New York, you know what I mean, with the new Blazing shit.
But
he was the first one, like, talking on the mics and shit.
Yeah, he was a real DJ. Like, I just spin and you get busy.
Yeah, and Flex, I mean, he could spin too for real, but what it was, they was having a conversation, and I think Flex got out of pocket, but not showing him enough respect. And that's when Kid Capri was like, bro, you out here sunning people, and you really trash. He was like, you know what I mean, so battle me. You know what I mean? Let's put the people aside. Let's put together the battle.
Oh, speaking of battles, did you see the battle between Tim and Swizz Beatz at Summerfest or Summer Jam?
I missed it. I heard about it. I missed it.
I watched a little bit of it, and I went in when I heard them going back and forth in the beginning, like a year ago, when they was like, you don't want no smoke with me, and they finally did it. I was like, finally, I want to see who won. I hate to admit it, man, but I think Swizz got him. I seen
over Timbaland.
Yeah, when I hear it, I think Timbaland got better songs. Yeah. Better, like just his catalog to me is better.
Yeah.
But Swizz has these like drops. Like when you know a Swizz beat to like whenever you hear the dun 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 and then it drop and you be like, man, he just the build up. And when you're doing a battle, you got to get the crowd, and his build up to when it drops, it got you.
Yeah.
And all his songs with Jay-Z were like those build up, type tracks, and they go. And I was like, not to say, like, I don't know, like from what I see now, I think I did hear some people say Timbaland won, but I was like, I only watched out of 26 minutes, I watched like 11 minutes of it. And I thought Swizz was getting it because but Swizz has more of a personality. Timbaland's kind of more of an introvert. Like, man, I just let my music play for itself, and he just kind of, let the music play and just kind of, pump people up. But Swizz was like, everybody go.
Talking and
and it get, obviously if you're hyping me up, I'm going even stupider than I would.
Yeah, that's smart.
So it was a situation, but no, I haven't really looked into the Flex be doing too much. Like, Flex be doing shit just to get in people's faces. So I don't really fuck with Flex like that.
Hey, shout out Flex.
I don't really. You know what it is because I think he borderlines talking tough. And that's what I don't like. Like,
yeah, but he even said it. Like, Pre put the clip up. Man, when he called his own self a sucker, he was like, "Boy, you a sucker, DJ." He played the clip. Yeah, Flex was like, "Yeah, I am a sucker sometimes." Boy, you drove.
Yeah, and I think that's that to me. Like, we're gonna go into another topic from this because I know it's gonna lead to it. But me personally, I don't respect it. Like, don't talk crazy if you're not crazy to back it up. And I mean, I have heard him. I will call them boys on you. I will call somebody else on you. I'm not about that life.
Yeah. And
so that's definitely one of those things. And it's kind of off subject, but it has something to do with it. Terry Crews, you heard about his trial that he's in?
Yeah.
So
got assaulted sexually.
Right. What are your opinions on this? Because I have an opinion about it. I think it's interesting.
The Hollywood joint, like, I mean, this is all real. Like, them is facts. Like, them, some people, you heard the saying, so you got to sleep to the top. Like, motherfuckers is really about their life in Hollywood. Like, either you setting out or bitch you getting out.
But do you think of him less as a man of letting another man grab your shit?
I don't think that he necessarily let him, from what I understand. Like, dude had walked up and grabbed him, from what I understand. Maybe I didn't read enough into it. You know what I mean?
That's the story. Like, he was with his wife.
He was with his wife.
Right.
And another grown man walked up and grabbed him.
Right.
You can't control that cop up.
Right. So,
I mean, to an extent, defense,
but your response was like, do you feel like he should have beat his ass? Do you think he's less of a man for not teeing off?
Not necessarily. I mean, just off the strength of, the mindset we got now, like, you can't handle everything with a hammer. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly. So for me, and this is how I was saying it was leading into. So 50 Cent been trolling him. Like, man, am I thinking like an old woman?
50's a troll anyway.
Yeah, but there was one of the congresswomen. She said, "Well, you're a big man. You could have pushed him off. You could have done." And so 50 recorded it, put it on his Instagram. Like, am I thinking like an old woman? Because I'm thinking the same shit.
Yeah.
And I get it. I understand the male ego is fragile, but society makes it fragile.
Yeah.
Because you can't. There's certain things you can't do as a man with them. Saying, like, questioning your manhood. Like, Terry Crews has said it on I think it was, I don't know if he said it on the Breakfast Club, but I think he said it on Sway, one of those. Anyways, he said, I'm paying money that I would have had to pay anyways. Had I beat his ass, I'd have been paying for court to stay out of jail. Yeah. So he was like, so why not hurt him in a way of responding in the way that I did?
Exactly.
And it made me think about it. If you see, like, I'm a big man, I'm 6 foot. If I hit my wife or push her, and she might have been slapping me, and everyone watched her slapping the shit out of me for 10 minutes, and I finally push her off me, everyone's not going to pay attention to the fact that she's been beating my ass for the last 10 minutes. They're going to be like, man, you a 6 foot, 200-pound man, just pushed the shit out of her. Yeah. And the optics of that looks bad. And then that's what Terry Crews has said. The optics of me beating up a little old white man, I'm a 225 pure muscle man. Yeah. If I had hawked off and hit him,
he probably just died.
And he's $1 million, billion-dollar man that has all these agents and all these.
Yeah.
He was like, no one's going to employ me. No one's going to do none of that. And everyone's still looking at me sideways like, how you just let him do that as a man? And he's like, I'm trying to tell you guys because the consequences are deeper than me just hitting him.
Exactly. Same
thing with the C Murder situation. C Murder about to get out, I think. He should be getting out because
I've seen it.
Because if you guys don't know, C Murder was a rapper in the 90s. And he went to jail for murdering a kid that he's maintained his innocence this whole time. The people that said that he did it have now said that the police made them say that.
What? He was set up.
Yeah. So the police made the people say it was C Murder and you guys could go or whatever. And now 2 witnesses have come out and said, this is a second witness now. So now they're going to probably get him out of jail on the strength of 2 witnesses have said, like, no, the police made us say that shit.
Yeah.
But that's still to be seen. But anyways, when I heard that, I was thinking, like, C Murder's a millionaire. How dare you let somebody fuck up your money for, you a millionaire traveling the world, got a big record label with all the hottest, everything at the time. He was on top of the world at the time.
Yep, No Limit was.
And I was thinking, like, why would you let someone fuck that up? But that male ego Like, they were saying it was over like $1,000, and I was like, but dude has millions. Why are you worried about 1,000?
That's $1 to me then.
But in the male ego, someone step on your shoes. I think Mac from No Limit shot somebody because someone stepped on his Jordans. I was like, dude, that's you crazy. Was Mac, man, from the, you know what I'm saying? But again, it's that male ego of feeling disrespected. And when you come from lower income worlds, like much of us do, ain't nobody gonna. You don't have nothing to lose.
Yeah, it's a learned response. Yeah,
you don't have nothing to lose, and that's all you have is you got $20 in your pocket. You ain't worried about going to jail. They hold you for 4 hours, send you home.
Yeah.
But when you're a $1 million, multi-million-dollar man, billion-dollar man, they are always pressing charges. You ever notice like someone that has money want to press charges? If you were in the streets and you hit a kid that has money, he sues you.
Yeah.
And you really like, man, I went to jail over hitting a rich kid. And the reason why is because that kid had money. He could go to court with you. He could take you for whatever you did. Do the right
processes, yeah.
And he's been raised in that. But us in a lower income world,
we ready to fight.
Yeah, like man, you ain't gonna be walking up to me and doing whatever. And I was like, so it's an interesting concept to think like, no one takes men assault. Like assault is assault.
It is.
If you see me fight another 200-pound man, you be like, well, shit, that's two big dudes fighting, and you let them fight. You don't say nothing about it. You don't. Ain't nobody trying to break it up.
Yeah.
But if you've seen it with a smaller man, you might be like, oh, he's beating the crap out of that little guy. You're gonna have an issue with it. Or sometimes that's a sometimes situation. That's not an all time situation. Yeah. But if it's between a man and a woman in a world of equal rights, and I quote equal rights, you be like, but you can't hit a woman because she ain't got that strength. But what if she's a 600-pound woman fighting another 600-pound man? That's two big ass people. Them punches is gonna hurt.
Yeah, they is.
And I was like, so it's just a weird thing of like, no one. I was like, everyone just assumed because it's a woman that she's not as strong as a man or whatever. It's like, or she could be 200 pounds and he's 120 pounds.
Right.
I was like, there's assault that happens on men every day.
Yeah.
And that man can't say my wife beats on me because you're going to be looking at him like, wait, you telling me your wife beating on you? You going to laugh at him? You going to joke him out?
Yeah, I'm a victim too.
And I was like, you going to make fun of all that shit because you can be like, man, I can't be a man and be a victim. The police going to look at you like you crazy because you calling on a woman and whatever. But you can't push back.
Necessarily. I mean, because like you said, it's equal rights now. Like, well, so, I mean, they got to show up and do their job. It
doesn't mean society.
They might laugh at you. You know, I use a bitch. Your bitch beat you up.
but that's what I'm saying. In society conditions us to have that fragile mindset. Why can't I be a man and say I've been assaulted?
Right.
Why can't I say, man, I was sitting here minding my business. He or she, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Assault is assault. I'm not trying to say it's equal in that sense. I'm just saying assault is assault. It doesn't matter. Man hitting another man, that's assault. A woman hitting a man is assault. A man getting raped is still a sexual assault. It doesn't matter if it's a woman or a man. It's still a sexual assault case. Right. That's my point. I think it's just interesting that we are in that situation of like, nobody questions like, oh, well, you a man, you're less of a man because you allowed that to happen. I mean, it's crazy to me.
Yeah, it is. A lot of people got more stuff to lose. Honestly, that's what I've been trying to focus on in my personal life is my reactions to a lot of situations. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because like you stated, we came up, shit, it ain't no problem to knuckle up. You know what I mean? But shit, you got a house, car, kids, whatever, businesses. You got to think twice.
I'll tell you what's a funny situation to think about. The only time I've ever heard of an assault work out in all places that it worked out for you was LL Cool J. Someone broke into his house.
Oh, yeah.
And LL Cool J is walking around in his underwear. I was like, I'm going to go give me a sandwich. Walk down the stairs, see some man in his house. I was like, now I'm laughing at this guy because you got your ass whooped by a man in his underwear.
Yep.
Doing some shit.
It couldn't do nothing.
And from what I heard, like they said, like the police that responded was like that dude was fucked up.
Yeah.
Like dude got a broken jaw. Dude was like a bloody mess.
LL Cool J ain't no little dude.
No. But the thing about it, like dude, you was fully clothed, and this man came out in his boxers and beat the bricks out you. That's funny. That's comedy.
LL Cool J.
but
Mama said
the only reason why it's also amazing to me because this was in California. California is one of them states you cut yourself breaking in the house.
You can
sue. So the fact that he was able to get your ass whooped by a man in his underwear, a broken jaw, and you ain't get
sexually assaulted,
right,
and then,
is amazing to me. Like man, shit,
Like, he lucky though. Shit, out here, shit, he would have got body.
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of people never heard about that. There was a old Green Beret in the East Side. Someone broke into his house. 3 people broke into his house.
Damn.
And he was in his bedroom sleeping. And he was in his room sleeping. He hears them. They walk in his room, and he was like, "Shut up and don't move." It's like, "What do y'all want?" He was like, "Shut up, I got a knife. Don't move." He said, "You got a knife?" He's like, "Yeah." He said, "Good." He said he reached under his pillow, pulled out that 38, let the hammer go.
Yeah.
He called him. He ran down the hall. The guy was trying to go back out the window, hit him 3 more times. He died falling out. Only one guy drove off, and he ain't getting no trouble for it. I was like, but I was like, yo, you got to be a bad motherfucker to have a 38 reload while you chasing somebody out.
Oh yeah, you got the speed loader. Pop them bitches out, through some right in. There you go.
And I was like, that's a bad motherfucker. But to me, I was like, he better not get in no trouble for that, because that man was sleeping minding his own motherfucking business.
Oh yeah, nah.
And they had granted they had a knife, and the other guy was running, but still, it's like, shit, you still in his house?
Fear for my life. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know how many more people were still in this household. Shit.
Yeah. Because you got to think, though, bro. You know what fucked me up? I was reading this article. It's kind of related to that on some breaking and entering shit. You remember the Golden Gate serial killer?
Yeah.
That cat. I was reading about that nigga, and that dude was breaking in people's houses, putting plates on their back. You know what I'm saying? Getting beat up and raped for 7 hours straight.
That's crazy.
Crazy, bro. So, like, for real, I wouldn't put it past nobody. You know what I mean? You
know
never
what's
know what
crazy to me? Back when I was in college, the first go-around, I did a paper on the death penalty. And going into that situation, I was for the death penalty. I was like, man, death penalty, fuck yeah, you piece of shit, you deserve to die. And this shit left me and especially in more recent years, but that shit left me in limbo in the sense of how many people get sentenced to life in prison or murder, or death over murdering somebody. Because like I read a couple cases of like women that were raped and brutalized. Like, this one lady, I remember it was like in a Life magazine, she was raped, beat, left for dead. Like, he had stabbed her, cut her, like,
that's horrible,
like mutilated her face, left her on the ground thinking she was dead, left the knife next to her. So as soon as he got up and was starting to put his pants back on, she grabbed that knife and stabbed him to death.
Good.
And she got sentenced to life in prison over there. I was like, what the fuck?
Nah, they fucked up.
And there was more than one case that was like that, where I was like, how you tell a woman that been raped and left for dead? Like, he didn't think, like, they was like, well, she wasn't in danger no more.
What?
Yeah, that's what they that's what they said. They said
somebody changed the terror threat from red to orange.
Yeah, they said she was no longer in dangerous harm. But I was like, but her mind frame, like,
what do you mean?
Still wasn't like she's still traumatized. Like, she still ain't.
And they talking that shit, because I guarantee you raped their ass. They in 5 minutes, they not gonna be fine.
But the world, like, the U.S. is fucked up on this rape shit. You hear about the dude that raped the girl and only did like 6 months in prison because they didn't want him to ruin his life?
Oh, that money, he paid for that.
Right, but
he paid for that.
But did you hear that's being brought back up though?
Yeah, but this the problem. Like, even with that being said, you right. He got the soft hand from the law, but that nigga, I promise you, he can't go to Walmart. He can't go to Radio Shack like me and you do.
You say that.
I promise you. I promise you, they was pulling up on him. Yes, sir. Because I seen the news whenever he got out, and they was talking that shit to him. Old babe had an AR over around her chest, like, I want you to rape me, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
But here's the thing: the judges, they're trying to vote that judge out now. Like, they hold in a special election to vote him out because they found it. I don't know how true it was, but from my understanding, they found enough evidence to say that he's lenient. Like, one, he holds all the cases over. That I don't remember what college it was, but whatever college, I think it was Harvard or something, whatever Ivy League college he was at, he oversees all those cases that come up, and every sexual assault he is very lenient on. So they were trying to hold a special election to vote him out of office, and I don't think it went through, but I think they were trying to get him kicked out for it. And if it was the case, it would have been like the first one since like 1978 to get voted out of office like that. Mm-hmm. But it was an interesting thing to think about because his reasoning why he said that man his reasoning for not giving him a longer sentence or a harsher penalty was, I mean, his lawyer said he's a young man. You don't want to ruin his career. He has a good life ahead of him if he doesn't fuck it up. If you're lenient on him, he agreed to that, and he said, well, technically she wasn't awake to be able to say no.
What?
That was the argument.
What?
So he was like, so yeah, he's guilty of raping her, but technically she never was, never said no. She technically never said no. I'm like, yo, this is America. Like, this is the fucking.
Hey, I'm telling you, like I said,
I was like, but
they
you know
don't
what's
see him
crazy?
at Walmart, bro.
The crazy part is that if it would have been a minority, they wouldn't even said that.
Blink twice.
Like, bro,
you over.
You done.
over.
You a black male, whatever, or you a Mexican male. You going to. That was the other thing. I found out most minorities that are in prison, there's. What is it? I want to say. For every. So the numbers was something along the lines of like 75% of crime is committed by white people.
75%?
Yeah. And 25% is committed by all the minorities.
Mm-hmm.
But only 25% of all white people that commit crimes go to jail.
That's crazy.
And 75% of all minorities go to prison. So the numbers and the ratio of like, wait a minute, if we only committing 25, but 75% of us are going to jail for it.
Hey, that don't add up.
That's crazy. It's the definition of like insanity when you think about that shit. Like, man, that shit don't make sense nowhere.
Right, real shit.
But the only thing I can think of is like white people got money to fight for those rights, and minorities like, yeah, shit, we out here just trying to struggle to survive.
That's the thing. Motherfuckers just got to learn how to work the system. You know what I'm saying?
But the problem is the system changes when you learn how to work it.
Indeed.
They don't like whenever you figure out the cheat code to like, man, how you know about that special law that you wasn't supposed to know about to get you out of it.
You needed money to know about it. What's your Instagram real quick?
It's Sleep EJ. It's all one word.
I got you, yeah.
But let's see. I'm gonna see. This is still part of the sexual assault stuff, and this is gonna be the last topic we're gonna talk about. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here.
Okay.
The Carolina Panthers former owner. Did you hear about him?
No.
Like the whole reason why he sold the Panthers, I don't know if he actually finished.
Oh yeah, the Diddy was finna buy.
Right. The whole reason why he was selling was because he had these sexual assault, racial misconduct things that were going on.
What?
The NFL is forcing him to pay $2.5 million.
Wow.
For sexual assault or sexual harassment and racial misconduct or whatever.
Hey,
and I just read a little bit about it. This girl, he called her into the office in the middle of the week. He's like, yeah, why don't you come over down to the stadium and hang out with me in the office? And he was just hanging out in the office like, yeah, throw your legs over my lap. Rub them all on my dick and all this.
Wow.
Like it was just like really weird. And she was like, I did it because I didn't know what to do. And I was like, I'm not going to victim blame or shame or nothing because I don't know what, maybe she was scared, whatever the case was. But I just like, yo, that's just crazy as an employer to think you could just call someone down to your office. I'm like, yeah, get comfortable. Lay down. Sit on my lap. Let's talk about this.
Right. Hey, that's real though. Facts.
And I just think it's interesting to see. I really didn't like. The only thing I was interested in the Carolina Panthers was like if they was gonna come to St. Louis because rumor was the Bush family was gonna buy the Jets and bring them to St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I was thinking, well, I would rather have the Panthers if they're gonna buy anybody. But yeah. I just think it's crazy to think like it's an interesting time to see everyone getting in trouble for like racial or like because. To me, I look at it as like if you're of a certain age, like I can allow some racist shit to slide. Not to say that it's all right,
yeah.
But like I think like if you're 60 or older, you grew up during segregation. I'm sure you still have some old racist ways about you.
Yeah.
If you're in your 30s and you're racist, like I'm dumbfounded because I'm like, man, you grew up in the same time I did, where everyone was mixed and mingled and everything else. So it throws me off if they're under 30 and they have these racist ways.
Yeah.
But it's definitely an interesting time to think like, we're going to be able to, I'm not going to have no kids, but you have kids and you'd be able to tell them like, I remember a time when this wasn't okay or this was this was okay,
Yeah.
I get annoyed in the sense that I do remember a time where you could say whatever you wanted. You could say something that was offensive. And though it was offensive, not 100 people ran out and like, oh my God, you hurt my feelings by saying this. Or even if it doesn't hurt your feelings, you'd be like, that's wrong. Why do you care if your feelings ain't hurt? Like, don't tell me that it's wrong if I didn't hurt your feelings directly. I was like, because I'm, I've gotten in conversations with people. I tell people, look, I'm an asshole. I know I'm an asshole. I say some ignorant shit. And I say it for shock value, not necessarily because I'm trying to hurt nobody's feelings.
Right.
And I was like, but people get all in their feelings about like, oh, that's so wrong. You can't say that and this and that. And I was like, for me, I do what the fuck. If you don't like if I hurt someone's feelings, like, I'm not intentionally trying to hurt no one's feelings or ill will towards nobody.
Right.
I was like, I just wanted like, oh shit, he just said something. Like, to me, that's why I like hip hop. Like, I don't know about you. Like, when I listen to rap, like when you listen to rap, what made you listen to it?
That's how, honestly, for me coming up, like, honestly,
like Frost was telling me, for him, hip hop was like the fact that a black man could say something that may not necessarily be kosher. That's what, like, to him, why hip hop was always dope.
Yeah.
For me, my deep love of hip hop was like, man, I love, like, I was talking to the wife. She was sitting there talking about, you don't have nobody that gives you life whenever. I was like, I don't even know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because she was talking about the Jay-Z and Beyonce album. She's like, Beyonce gives me life. And I was like, what does that mean? She's like, that excitement when you hear it, you just be like, oh my God, I can't. I was like, yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, I'll take that back. Thinking about it for a couple of days, I was like, you know what? Hearing an artist say something that's going to catch, like, you off guard. Like, I can't believe he just said that. Like, Eminem, and I say this because it's my favorite Eminem line, was whenever he talked about lining them kids up in Columbine and shooting them all with all those guns. I was like, when I heard that, that shit had me like, oh, shit, I can't believe. That to me is hip hop. That oh shit moment of it, like, even watching a battle, whenever someone's like going off and then someone like nonchalantly says, oh, you mad because I'm styling on them. Yeah. And like he just made you look stupid in that second by just saying, I'm so cool. That you mad because I'm so cool. Like,
no doubt.
I was like, that to me was always what made hip hop. I mean, that and the stories, like the storyline of, an artist telling me your story.
Yeah.
And so people don't understand what makes hip hop, why can't you have a ghostwriter in hip hop to be taken serious as an MC?
Right.
And I was like, and really because all the MCs were telling their story.
That's it.
I was like, now
Pop, Biggie, all
right. I was like, no one was talking about, no one ever puts Dr. Dre in that seat. No one puts Eazy-E in that seat or whatever. Maybe his kids may be like, oh, well, but they don't talk about him being a top MC because he didn't write his stories. Ice Cube, whoever else was writing for NWA, like those people were writing for Eazy-E, not Eazy-E. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, Pac was writing his story or his feelings about stuff, and that's what makes you an MC in this game. I was like, I could say, like, someone could have someday tell me, like, oh, you don't write all your raps. I was like, you're right. I write 99.999 of my raps. I've had 2 raps in my whole career that have been written for me, and that was mostly not because like I couldn't write them. Like, one time, me and Frost were gonna do a song together. Frost was just in the groove, and he was like, I just started writing your verse. Like, wow. And he was just like, I just liked the song that I was writing, and this is what I was like, oh, this is what I think you would have said. So he wrote that verse for me. I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll try it.
That's what's up.
And then the homie JB wrote a song, and he wanted a certain style on it, so he wrote it how he thought I should say it. And so I listened to it, and I tried it. I've always been that type of person. Like, I'm not afraid to try something. And I was like, but most of my stuff has always been written from me. I was like, aside from hooks, I've written every verse that I've ever rapped except for those 2. I was like, right. So if I was ever lucky enough to get into those conversations of being one of the best, I was like, I did write all my shit but those 2 verses. And if you could pull them up right now, shout out to you for being a day one.
Bow. Show you right.
But yeah, to me, hip hop was always about that oh shit moment when you catch somebody off guard with, like, the wildest bar that you could think of, or if it wasn't wild or just something that puts you in a moment. Like, to me, Nas is one of the greatest because he could paint a picture.
Oh yeah.
In the way he sells something. Like, there was one song where he was talking about fighting in the street, and he was talking about scoop the dirt, throw it in the eye. And I was like, yo, the way he just say that shit, I was like, yeah, you could he verbally paints a picture in a point that I could visualize a kid in the street fighting in that, and I was like, I know what that feels like. So to me, that's what makes separates everybody.
I mean, it connects people too, though. You know what I'm saying? It's always used as a form of expression. You know what I mean?
Right.
So definitely, man. Like I said, that's why I rock with it. You know, just music in general, not just hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, music in general to me has always been tight because of doesn't matter. It transcends emotions.
Right.
You know, if you're going through a breakup, you got a whole breakup list. If you're going through I'm working out, you got these songs that pump you up, and it don't matter where you are, they pump you up, get you going.
Exactly.
And I was like, the way that it taps into the emotion that people have, that to me has always been that. Like, yeah, that's the magic of music or entertainment in general. It's like, man, they can do so much with music that it's crazy. You could drive somebody nuts with music if it's like, this fucking song keeps playing and I hate this song.
Yeah.
The most obnoxious songs in the world. It's funny. My sister-in-law, she hates that Party in the USA. And sometimes I'll text her the song, so when she opens it up, it's like, oh, I fucking hate this song. But it's funny to me.
Yeah.
So fuck with her.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get other people like, oh, everyone texts her the same song, so when she opens it up, it's like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But yeah, so that's, I mean,
that's all good.
Yeah, music is a great thing. It's a good time. Anyways, that concludes my show. Tell everyone how they can reach you.
Yeah, man. Definitely follow me on all social media, man. DJ Block. That's BLOCK 314 on everything. Definitely make sure you come check out your boy July 13th and the 15th. I'm going to be at the Universal Soul Circus, if I can say it right. Universal Circus. Starting at 7 p.m.
High pitched soul.
Yeah, that's what it is. Thank you, Campo. You know what I mean? I'm dehydrated. It's hot outside. So definitely come out and check us out, man. You know, we got the Fleet Conference coming up, North Carolina, man. Artists, if you're trying to get your record spun, whatever, email it to me at djblock.fleetdjs@gmail.com. Hit me on the link, man. You know what it is, man. Salute, Campo.
Appreciate it. So before I want to ask you about that. So the conference, is that like something for just DJs? There's going to be artists in there trying to...
Yes, industry mixer. So, you know what I mean? There's other DJ crews that come through. I think last year we had Nerve DJs come through. They CEOs and all of that, too.
That's what's up.
You got some DJs that are split brand.
Right.
You know what I mean? Plus, you got the stars. It's going to be there. Gina from Martin. We got Daz Dillinger. I believe Jacquay coming back from Love and Hip Hop. Gunplay gonna be there. That's a long list. I could be here 5 minutes.
Gunplay got this one song called "Fight with My DJ" or Demons. That shit's my shit.
Till my knuckles turn for boy. Yeah, but, that's Bible on the Dash too. Matter of fact, shout out.
Yeah. So, but anyways, yeah, man, it's always good to catch up with my brethren.
Indeed.
You know, if you guys don't know, follow me on Twitter at SleepyJ. It's it's SLEEP_E_J. That's on Twitter. On Instagram, it's SleepEJ. It's SLEEPEJ, all one word. That's where I'm most active on there. I'm always getting in people's pictures and talking shit, or on Twitter talking shit on whatever I can see. So follow me on there. If you guys have any suggestions on who I should have on next or anything like that, please hit me up. Let me know. Yeah, that's the show. Take it easy, guys.
Yeah.